Welcome back to Tricks of the Trade. I'm Mikey Bradley, and today we're talking about sit-down wheelies, my favorite wheelie. An OG stunt rider by the name of Chill Gill once told me that every wheelie should start with a sit-down, and it's stuck with me ever since. So a lot of people call home base as like their most comfortable way to wheelie, and pretty much everybody's home base is seat stander because it is the easiest, it's the best way to maneuver, slow down, best way to see and stuff like that. But once Chill Gill said that, I was determined to make sit downs my home base. So I start every wheelie with a sit down. The only way to get better at it is if you practice every time, and if you start a wheelie every time with a sit down, you're gonna get good at it. One major tip is to relax your body, relax your shoulders, wiggle your arms a little bit, and just breathe. I try to focus a lot on actually putting my weight on my butt, if that makes any sense. You shouldn't be holding on at all. On a stunt bike, it's best to slide your butt back towards the back of the seat so you can so you have something to like lean on, sit on. It'll hold you in a little bit better. Putting your weight back on the back seat will take the stress off your arms and your legs and stuff, and it'll make it way easier to transition out of the sit down to a knee knocker or jump up to seat stander. On a stock bike, I would suggest getting closer to the tank. It looks cooler this way. So you're like crouched up on the tank. I have a video here. It's kind of hard to see me doing it on the 0304 because the tank to the back seat's kind of short. But if you have like an 09 or anything higher than that, it'll be more visible. But doing this, it looks better. It looks cooler because you're like tucked in with the bike. Moving your weight up higher on the bike too also will bring the balance point higher, making it look better. If you ride a stock bike with fairings, you need to be looking down the fork tubes. That'll be the only opening in the fairings that you can see ahead of you. I don't have a stock bike to show you what this looks like, but if you're on a stock bike and you just look at the fork tube, you can see the ground. So you're going to be looking through that when you're up on your wheelie. But that is not the only place you want to look. You also want to look on left and right. Before you clutch up a sit-down wheelie, you want to check your surroundings and see where everybody is, because you are going to lose a lot of visibility once you get up there. But then when you're in your wheelie, you also want to look on both sides of the tank. On the left side, check the left, but also check the right. And if you have to, you can lower the wheel a bit and maybe stand up a little, poke your head up just to see what's in front of you, because when you're in the pack, things change really quick. People slow down, people speed up, and you don't want to run into anybody. That would be awful. To turn on a sit down is kind of the same as looking left and right. Controlling a sit down wheelie is a lot in your shoulders. So you're just like kind of like doing this type of movement here. And that's like a dance move. And so to turn on a sit down wheelie, you would just look to the left and move your shoulders over that way, and that'll turn it, vice versa for the right. And then if you have to turn really hard, you're gonna just scoot your butt over and your shoulders, and that'll turn you more. The higher you bring the wheel up, the easier it is to turn. Once you get comfortable doing a regular sit down nice and smooth, then try dropping back. Doing a sit down just like in the drop back video. If you haven't seen it, I posted a how to drop back video, but just use your momentum to bring yourself back. The drop back on a sit down is the most fun because it kind of feels squirrely when you get back there. The bike wiggles a lot. There's no I can't give you any tips or tricks on how to control that. You just wiggle with it. When you're back there, you figure it out. There's no secrets or anything there. Learning the sit down drop back is key to then doing no throttle hand scrapes, no hand scrapes, because you have to be off the gas to do all those things. So doing the drop back and cutting the throttle is a key stepping stone in progressing in stunt riding. If you're not super comfortable with sit downs or even foot brake yet, a good way to practice, a good like training technique, is to clutch up from a standstill.
Nice.
In order to do this, I turn my idle up to 4K, and I slide my left butt cheek off until my left foot can touch flat. And then you're just going to clutch it up. It took me a long time to learn it. Not a long time. It took me 3 days to learn this. Just doing it over and over and over and over and over until I finally got to the balance point and was able to hold it. It is sketchy because when your foot will be on the ground and then you'll clutch up and your foot will come off the ground. But once you get back up to balance point, the seat comes back down towards the ground, so you will be able to touch again. People always think that they can't touch. You just have to slide your butt over a little bit. And once you get to the right point, you'll be able to touch. I have faith. Doing this training, we'll call it training, I guess, sit down training. Doing this foot drag sit down at idle will teach you what the balance point feels like, what it looks like, and it also teach you to get off of the brake. So if you have a problem when you're doing sit downs, if you have a problem dragging the brake, try doing this technique, practice it over and over again, because in order for the idle to pull you back up, you completely get off the brake. Once you are able to catch the balance point, you can focus on putting your weight on your butt, what I said earlier, and you can also loosen your arms up. If you're comfortable, you can drop a hand, no hands, if you're comfortable doing that. But we're going to talk about those in the next videos. I say don't ever do a sit down with a handbrake, but when you're about to transition to a seat stander or something like that, I give my handbrake a couple of pumps, tap it 3 times to make sure that it's there and it's not brake faded out. I don't believe in brake fade, but that's another story. Just to make sure that the brake's there and you're going to be safe before you jump, I give it a couple taps, and then I move my feet to the balls of my feet on the foot peg so I don't accidentally hit the foot brake when I jump off of it. So to close out the sit down tutorial, my number 1 key is to relax your arms, try and not use the brake so much, try and more focus on throttle control. If you're on a stock bike, hug the tank. If you're on a stunt bike, sit back on the back, put your butt against the back seat, look on both sides, look all around, make sure you're aware of your surroundings, and drop back and scrape that thing. And I'll see you in the next video. Next video is one-handers, and then we'll go to no-handers. Peace out. My laundry's done, so I gotta go get it.